true. Good evening, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Thanks for joining us. We've worked a little bit on the technical issues. We do want to give people an opportunity to share their well wishes for those who might be ill, and we want people to be able to share their memorials. So what we're going to ask that you do, if you didn't mail them in advance, and thanks to those of you who did, and you can always do that at rabbi@birminghamtemple.com, go ahead and start sending them now, and simply put an M or a W in front of it as we see them. Arthur will take note of them on this piece of paper that I'm giving him. We did not plan this, and hopefully you can see it okay from there. But anyway, we're going to get started now. Just a few announcements. Those of you who are members of our congregation, you should have received links to join us for Zoom classes. All of our newsletters for both our members and for people who are watching from far off are available on our website, birminghamtemple.org. That's just one word, birminghamtemple. Well, the .org is a separate word, of course. And you can take a look at what's going on there. We had a wonderful temple check-in on Wednesday evening at about 7. We had somewhere in the area 45 different windows open. They would not fit on one screen, many of them with couples, a few with families. All in all, we counted around 70, 75 people. It was really wonderful to see everybody. We'll do that again in, I think, a week from this Wednesday. Looks like we're going to be trapped in our self-imposed quarantine distancing for quite a while now. But as long as it makes things better, that's what we're here to do. So with the housekeeping out of the way, one more note, those of you in Southeast Michigan, you can order our Seder in a box. We have an incredible menu. Sally Mamora, who many of you may know from our temple, is doing the catering. Those will be available for pickup on both Thursday, April 8th, and Wednesday, April 8th before the first Seder, and Thursday, April 9th before the second Seder. You can also order Haggadahs to go into your Seder in a box. And if you're here, there, or anywhere, you can join us on Thursday, April 9th for our second night Seder. We'll go live right here on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. We will, we hope this works, display the text of the Haggadah on the screen. It'll mean a little less of us you'll see and a little more Haggadah. But of course, if you order it, you can have it by your place as well. This evening, if you need to see the lyrics and the readings, you are welcome to find them on the PDF link found every week on our website homepage and also at the link below this video. All of that being said, we're going to begin with one of my favorite pieces. It's called Ma Tovu. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, mekor habracha. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Now I will ask Arthur to light our candles for Shabbat And we will recite our blessing as he does. Baruch haor ba'olam, Baruch haor ba'adam, Baruch haor ba'shalom, ba'shalom, Baruch haor, Baruch haor, b'Shabbat. And if you have some wine as we do, I think we could all use it. Raise your glass. L'chaim, everybody, to a good week, to health and happiness and joy for all of us, to strengthen resilience as we make our way through these very, very frightening but also hope-inspiring times. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Tonight I've selected 2 readings by Sherwin Wine to share. And the first one, I think, is one that has given me some particular courage. It's called Courage. Life is filled with danger. It lingers everywhere. It will not go away. There are so many things to fear: poverty and disease, storms and earthquakes, violence and war. They intrude on human history and cannot wait to return. Other people speak of heaven and promise another place in another world where danger will vanish. But worlds without danger are fantasies. Disease is real. Fear persists. To live life honestly, with no attempt to deny the darker side of reality, is hard. To face the truth, with no effort to hide from the facts of human nature and human existence, is frightening. Yet what else is the life of courage? We cannot be brave if danger is an illusion. Courage begins with honesty, the willingness to confront the world as it is, not merely as we want it to be. We continue with Eifo Ori. Eifo Ori, Ori bi, Eifo tikvati, tikvati bi, Eifo kochi, kochi bi, v'gam bach, v'gam bach, Eifo kochi, kochi bi, v'gam bach, v'gam bach. Where is my light? My light is in me. Where is my hope? My hope is in me. Where is my strength? My strength is in me and in you, and in you. Where is my strength? My strength is in me and in you, and in you. The second reading from Sherwin is called Hope. I believe. I believe in hope. I believe in hope that chooses self-respect above pity. I believe in hope that dismisses the petty fears of petty people. I believe in hope that feels distant pleasure as much as momentary pain. I believe in hope that acts without the guarantee of success. I believe in hope that kisses the future from the transforming power of its will. Hope is a choice, never found, never given, always taken. Some wait for hope to capture them. They act as the prisoners of despair. Others go searching for hope. They find nothing but the reflection of their own anger. Hope is an act of will, affirming in the presence of evil that good things will happen. Preferring in the face of failure, self-esteem to pity. Optimists laugh even in the dark. They know that hope is a lifestyle, not a guarantee. Tonight I want to talk about the topic of magical thinking. This is one of the biggest challenges that people grapple with, even in the best of time. It is an inheritance of our evolution as people. We evolved to attribute agency, will, to everything and anything, from trees and rocks to animals and clouds. This agency is what creates the phenomenon of magical thinking. The belief that our ideas, thoughts, or wishes can change things over which in reality they have no influence whatsoever. We need only think back to the days before this crisis became widespread, to when the doctor from the CDC, I believe her name was Dr. Missonier, announced that there would be disruptions, as she put it, to our lives. She was met by people in our leadership with denials based upon nothing but wishful, magical thinking, promising people that everything would be just fine. I quote from exactly 1 month ago today, "It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear." Miracles are not a real thing. Only magical thinking can produce them. Even when we have treatments for this COVID-19, even when that inevitable day arrives, and it will, that it ceases to disrupt our lives, even when, if we're fortunate, we start hearing about a legitimate cure or therapy, and people start calling it perhaps a miracle cure, it will not be the result of any miracle, but of the hard and difficult task and work of the best trained medical minds on our planet. For some, magical thinking can be comforting. It can even be anxiety reducing. Think about athletes with their endless superstitious rituals that actually do help them remain calm, to perform well under challenging or difficult circumstances. For traditionally religious people, magical thinking can also bring comfort. By invoking their deity, asking for protection, people can reduce their anxiety. But while religion of this kind can be a focus for calming, it can also be easily exploited in ways that can cause real harm. In Israel right now, there has been outbreaks of this disease, particularly in Haredi, ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods, that far exceed the rate of infection in other parts of the country. Last Friday, a prominent rabbi in the Haredi community, somebody whom his followers listened to, was asked if the yeshivas and the schools of the community, the Talmud Torahs, should be closed because of the pandemic. And what was his reply? God forbid. According to these rabbis, study in the yeshivas is what will save the world. They cite a teaching from the Talmud. This teaching says that the world exists for the sound of studying Torah, and the Torah and its study is the greatest protection keeping the destroyer away from the houses of Israel. Many people like this also remind us that the virus is caused by sin, as they say. This is a prevalent thought here in the United States. I've learned that the person who leads the Bible study in the federal cabinet of the White House, a man named Ralph Drollinger, has blamed the coronavirus on those who have a proclivity toward lesbianism and homosexuality, or have depraved minds, or are environmentalists, or atheists. I feel like offering an elbow bump for that one, because they've ignited God's wrath. Like the ultra-Orthodox rabbis in Israel who bear direct responsibility because their followers will do as they're told, for the spread in the communities, our own American fundamentalists seek refuge in religious magical thinking. Faith healer Kenneth Copeland, who heads up a megachurch called Eagle Mountain in Fort Worth, Texas, he said this disease called COVID-19 will be over much sooner than you think, because Christian people all over this country praying are overwhelming it. Another Texas pastor said, I quote the scriptures to you, let no evil befall me, this is the Psalms, nor any plague enter my tent. We will tread upon the lion and the cobra. He said, I look upon the virus as just a lion and cobra. We're going to trample it down. In trouble, God is going to hear us because we love him when we call out his name. He's going to exalt us and give us a long, healthful life. And then, both in the secular and religious world, we have the snake oil salesman. None more famous, perhaps infamous at this point in history, than Jim Baker, remember him? Currently under investigation by the federal government for selling what is really, in a sense, actual snake oil. But this is not the only story of religion. There are, thankfully, hundreds of thousands of religious organizations and others who are working overtime to limit the spread of virus and maximize the spread of critical thinking. I want to talk about the man who told, in fact, ordered the Israeli yeshivas to close down, to obey medical orders. This was the Minister of Health of the State of Israel. His name is Yaakov Litzman. And he himself is a Haredi, an ultra-Orthodox Jew. And this week I was sent another video with a very, very traditional rabbi. I'm talking about a beard down below his waist, a very large kippah, wearing his suit, sitting in front of a copy of a traditional Jewish text, and in a similar kind of environment where he was fielding questions that were being posed to him online. He was given the question, why is God doing this? Why has God sent this particular virus that's so terrible? And do you know what he did? He said, what's important now is to listen to medical experts. Do what they tell you, he said. Stay home, wash your hands, follow the experts' advice. I didn't want to leave you with the impression that magical thinking cannot be overcome. In times of crisis, what we choose is more important than what we profess every other day. These gentlemen, yes, they're all gentlemen, Orthodox rabbis, along with, I should have mentioned, an modern Orthodox physician who was, I believe, single-handedly responsible for convincing the Orthodox community to get inside and quarantine after the events that began in New Rochelle, which you'll recall was an epicenter at the beginning of the outbreak. All of these people, regardless of their professed beliefs, have decided to rely upon experts, critical thinkers, humanists, and others, have long depended not upon authorities, but experts. Magical thinking can get in the way of expertise. It can even lead to greater and unnecessary suffering, far beyond any direct damage caused by the medical threat. And Jewish history has something to teach us about that. The tens of thousands of Jews who succumbed to violence during the 14th century Black Plague died because they were accused by magical thinking, obviously prevalent in an age of utter and complete superstition, of causing the virus. Attacks on Asians in our country, including this ridiculous insistence upon calling it the Chinese virus, come under that category. My ultra-Orthodox colleague and I may not agree on many things. I sincerely doubt we would find much in common, but we do agree on this. What's important now is to listen to experts. If we're looking to reduce our own anxiety, remember what Rabbi Wein said. Accepting reality is the first step. The world is a dangerous place. Things that can kill or harm us are everywhere. They're lurking about, perhaps right now, in another animal, waiting to emerge as another virus. Hopefully that one will wait for more than 100 years. But there is salvation. It does not come in the form for us of prayer, of magical thinking, or of superstition. Our salvation is to be found when we turn to each other, to community, and to helpful actions. And our salvation will ultimately come from the laboratories and the hospitals where, and it was pointed out to me by my daughter, I hadn't thought about it at this level, every single one of the best medical minds on the planet Earth are working on treatments and inoculations. I'm going to put my faith in them. It is not an unwarranted faith. It is not a leap of faith. Science has earned it. Let's give it a chance. So before I conclude entirely, I just wanted to leave you with a couple of resources to battle the misinformation that we're all subject to daily now. One of them, thank you.
I couldn't see any of them.
I'll take a look at the others. One of them, both of them are actually at the link at the bottom of your screen. You will find one there from the Center for Inquiry. Center for Inquiry, our good friends in Grand Rapids, host the Michigan branch. Dear friends, dear humanists. Center for Inquiry has established a resource center for battling misinformation. If you don't know this, the Center for Inquiry merged with the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Science a few years ago, and so they have at their disposal some of the great minds who can inform us about this. I've also received a lot of videos, some of them helpful, some of them funny. By the way, keep the funny ones coming. I appreciate those a lot. We need a sense of humor right now. But I have chosen to post one in particular by a doctor named David Price at the Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York. It's a bit lengthy, 56 minutes, but what I liked about this video is that it was straightforward, level-headed, not fear-mongering, didn't take us into new places that we could be afraid of. And I found it in the end because it was coming from someone who is daily on the front lines, a pulmonologist, who has learned everything there is to know about this disease and is unafraid because he takes the right precautions. I found it very comforting. So I hope you'll take a look at both of those. As I said, they are in the comment section underneath the video. I'm going to take a quick look and see who else we are going to add to our list right now. I see for health a couple of people, and I'll go ahead and read those off the screen as we go. Before we continue, though, with that reading, I want to share the third reading I picked out tonight, something that we talk about, or something that we read on occasion at the temple, written by Wendell Berry. It's called well, actually, no, I forgot a song, so let's go to that first. We're going to sing a song about hope, about dreaming. It's called Sachaki, Sachaki, laugh, laugh at all my dreams, but this I the dreamer proclaim, that I believe in humanity and I believe in you. It was written by Shaul Chernyakhovsky. שחקי שחקי על החלומות, זו אני החולם שחקי כי ואדם מאמין, כי עודני מאמין בך. שחקי כי ואדם מאמין, כי עודני שחקי בך. And now I'll share with you this reading. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Whether you have the place where the wood drake, or you simply have a bird feeder as we do, to be able to remember that this planet is still beautiful, and that someday we will overcome this, and that fear need not be our constant companion, even as vigilance and resilience must, is something I also find comforting. We'll continue with Nase Shalom. Na'aseh shalom, shalom ba'olam. Na'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, ve'imru shalom. Na'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, ve'imru shalom. Na'aseh shalom, shalom ba'olam. Na'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, ve'imru shalom. In this community where we find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward all those who need our love and support, those who are ill, those who suffer pain of this body or spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. Tonight, we extend our well wishes to these members of our community and their loved ones, to Gail Gotthelf, Cece Stone, Michelle Clevenger, Greg Lowenthal, Gail Slater, and Julie Eliason. I'm sorry if I didn't mention Bill Harris. May all who suffer know that they are not alone. May they be healed quickly. May all who are ill with this disease and all things that they suffer from be healed quickly. May they all experience a complete recovery, refuah shlema, the renewal of their bodies and the renewal of their spirits. Mekom hakoach betochenu, Mekorot habracha michevrotenu. May the source of strength that dwells so deep within us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Shalom. Mekom hakoach betochenu, Mekorot habracha michabrotenu. May those in need of healing know refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Shalom. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every people and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate upon the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. As we recall now our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight our community is mourning the first death, and I hope the last, to fall to this horrible disease. Emmanuel Manny Frisch was a beloved member of our community, a man who brought us laughter and joy, and thankfully died painlessly. We wish his family peace of mind and condolences. Tonight we also recall Rose Bitker Frank, Harold Schiff, Albert Paul, Esther Luria, Abraham L. Cohen, Madeline Leah Sulkis, Dorothy G. Grauer, Marvin DeRoven, James Walker, Alfred Lubeck, Ramald Locher, Larry Gordon, Bertha Ernstein, Carl Rossman, Boyd Musser, Sophie Lieberman, and David Fleischer. May all who have lost someone, may all who mourn, find peace and comfort in warm memories. Yehi zichron livracha. May their memories bless us. We'll conclude tonight with a song called May We Know Peace, adapted from a Song of Blessings by, it's called As We Go On Our Way, perhaps on your piece, on your sheets, by Debbie Friedman. May we know peace as we go on our way. May we be guided by love. May we be possessed of health and joy. May this be our future. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. May this be our future. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. May this be our future. Shalom. May we feel sheltered by the wings of peace. May we abide in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to everyone. May this be our future. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. May this be our future. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. May this be our future. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Please remember to check the website, the newsletter for all the Passover and all the other information. Thanks to those of you who joined us live, all the people. Ann Finkel from Boston, I see. We miss you, and we hope that you're well and that your family, we know, is well here. Be well, everybody. Take care of each other and yourselves. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.